Hey everyone, I'm Kendra.
And I'm Kayla, and we're back with another video. Yeah, so obviously we're in like month 2 of quarantine, I guess.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but you know what? We've really been taking this time to do some things we haven't gotten to do before. Filming videos is one of them. And yeah, we thought it would be a nice idea to kind of share some of the shows that we've been watching on Netflix, because that has been a popular thing now since we're all in quarantine. I mean, not that I didn't watch Netflix before, but
it's definitely my life before this and more of my life now.
Yeah, definitely continuing the binge watching. But yeah, so thought it'd be interesting to share at least like 10 shows that we're watching currently and in the past, so you guys could check them out if you haven't already.
Yeah, so kick things off with your first 5 and then...
Alright, so first and foremost, my favorite show on Netflix right now, La Casa de Papel. Try to say it in Spanish.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I did pretty okay. La Casa de Papel. But yeah, anyways, in English it's called Money Heist. Great show. If you haven't gotten on this already, you're missing out. It's basically about a group of misfits that come up with a bank heist. They rob the Bank of Spain, and the show just basically takes everyone through the process of them preparing to do the robbery, and it's just like a whole bunch of craziness goes on.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't gotten into that yet, but it's on like season 4 now. I'm just like, I'm so nervous to start, but it's definitely on my list.
Yeah, for sure.
One show that I've been watching is, or I've already finished it actually, is Elite. So yes, that's a Spanish show. Love it. It's on also like season 3. It's just about like these school kids, and obviously you got like your rich side and then the poor side, and then they come together because the school has a scholarship, so the poor kids basically get to go to that school because of the scholarship. So it's really interesting. It's just got your mix of teen drama, murder in there because one of the students dies or gets killed, I should say, by another student. Drugs, alcohol, sex, like it's hot, man.
but interesting.
Really interesting. Like I love my European shows because they have no filter and they just do the most.
Yeah, this one is very good.
Yeah.
Another show, flipping into the documentary side now, The Trials of Gabriel Hernandez. This one is very sad, very tragic. It's about a 10-year-old boy who unfortunately got murdered by his parents, and it just takes, obviously, everyone through the trials and just kind of gives a backstory on his life and all the hard stuff.
And it kind of shows the faults of the childcare system. I mean, there's a lot of signs that they missed, a lot of steps that they didn't take. So definitely really hard to watch, and the images are a little graphic, should warn you, but definitely really interesting. On RIP to him.
Yes, and then moving into another documentary, the Kalief Browder story. I found this one very interesting. Rest in peace to him as well. But this is another documentary that yet again shows, the fails of the system, and it just takes us through his journey at Rikers Island. Basically he got
one of the worst prisons, by the way.
Yeah, like he was in prison because he stole a backpack apparently, and it just shows like the whole mess of the system and takes us through his story.
And what really like caught my attention was like it wasn't allegedly that he stole a backpack. So he was basically just at Rikers Island awaiting his trial, and you're at one of the worst prisons for allegedly stealing a backpack. It's just crazy.
But very interesting show for sure.
Another one on my list is Baby. Absolutely love that show. So I believe it's a Italian show. So again, it's about like your young teens. They're not really teens, I think. They're like teens, like 18, 19. But again, it has your mix of sex, drugs, alcohol. Like there's prostitution in there. Super interesting. If you guys are into like those teen like drama shows,
this one's a little very raunchy, I'd say.
Yeah, this is very raunchy though, very intense, because like I said, European shows are just very out there. So definitely got, like I said, your sex, alcohol, like prostitution, all that stuff. I kind of feel like I watch a lot of shows like that.
Yeah, right. I'm just
it's just interesting. Yeah.
Another documentary. This is pretty old as well, but When They See Us. Like, if you guys haven't watched this yet,
I bawled my eyes out. Yeah.
Episode 4 had me in tears. I mean, I was crying through the other episodes, but that one really got me.
Yeah. I remember I was just sitting on my computer and I was just like, wow, like this is so moving.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone already knows what it's about, but it's about the exonerated 5. Who also got wrongfully convicted as well, but it just takes us through their time in prison and what the events that led up to them getting
and each of their different experiences in prison, because they each had like a very different experience. So this gives you insight into that. Really strong documentary and really insightful as well. What's another show on my list? The Society. So again, I just love like my teen shows. So this one is about like a group of students who they're going on some sort of like retreat camping trip, and like a big storm causes them to have to turn back and go back home. And essentially when they return home, like their town is not what it used to be. There's no adults. So it's just all young teens. And at first it's fun, you know, oh, no parents around, like no adults, like no rules. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's looting and doing all these things. And then after a while they kind of realize, no, like we need structure. Like we want the adults back. So it's just about them like trying to figure out like this new normal and how to get back things to normal. Like how do they get their parents? Like what happened to the adults? Like how did this happen in the first place?
Well, it's kind of like they're in another world, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're trying to figure out. Like, are we in another world? Is it the same world, but the adults are taken away? So it's just about them like figuring that out.
This show has me very confused so far, but interested. So I'm curious to see how season 2 will be, because right now I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah, it ended really well, but it's super interesting. Yeah, definitely. Apparently, it's supposed to be like a spin-off, or not really a spin-off, but reflective of Lord of the Flies. No idea what that is. Haven't seen it, but if you guys have, maybe that'll help you guys. Yeah, get an idea.
Yeah, another show for me. This is another European show yet again. I think it's a Switzerland show, but it's called The Rain. This one is it kind of just correlates to what we're dealing with right now. It's basically about a virus that people contract from the rain. So anytime the rain touches you, you get this virus and you're basically dead. So all these people now have to go into hiding and try to figure out like how do we get rid of this virus, and it's just a whole mess, a whole mix up. But yeah, I find this very interesting, relates to what we're dealing with now in some way. We're dealing with a virus, obviously, so interesting to watch.
Yeah, and I also have another Switzerland show that's a favorite of mine. That one is called Quicksand. So this one was super intense when it started, and it's like one of those shows where it has like flashbacks and goes to the present time. So it's a little bit not really difficult to follow, but like you really have to pay attention. And that one deals with, again, like young students and a school shooting. So I don't want to give too much away, but there's basically a girl, she falls in love, the boy becomes her whole life, and we all know how that ends.
Yeah, when you're too wrapped up in someone or something, never ends well.
Yeah, so that one's another good show to watch.
I guess, did we cover them all?
Yeah, I think that would be it. Obviously Tiger King, everyone's talking about
I'm pretty
that.
sure everyone has seen that by now, but that show was pretty crazy. Like, after I watched the last episode, I was just like, what the hell? Like,
it was just a hot mess. And I believe they came up with another episode. I haven't watched it yet, but that show definitely really interesting to watch. And just a lot of stuff happening in the big cat world that I didn't know about. Big cats, like, it's so weird. I would never really call them that. I just always said tigers, so now everyone's saying big cats.
Yeah, well, I guess because there's more than tigers, it's like the cheetahs.
Yeah, so it's like a whole family of cats. But yeah, Tiger King, definitely very interesting to watch. So hopefully this gives you some new shows to watch on Netflix. I know sometimes you feel like, oh, I've gone through everything.
Yeah, like what else is there?
Yeah, but international shows are where it's at. I'm telling you.
I know we didn't even mention half the ones that we're watching, but definitely start there.
Check that section out. Oh, Queen of the South. There's another one. Definitely watch that. Another drug show, but super interesting. That's on like season 4 or 5. I don't even know, but also really good.